right. Good morning. Welcome, everyone, once again to another edition, episode 17, actually, of the NewOaks AI Podcast. Welcome, Ray. This is Ray Lamont, CEO of NewOaks. How you doing this morning, buddy?
Hey, Leiden. I'm doing great. How about you? How about yourself? It's cold
It's
in
good.
Detroit.
Yeah, I'm just north of Detroit, about an hour here in the state of Michigan. We like to just do it like this, Ray. We just hold our hand up and
Yeah,
we say, I live right about here
yeah,
because it's the state of Michigan looks like a mitten. So
right.
we hold our hand up and I just point, and I'm somewhere right about here on the mitten. So that's how I tell
Okay,
people where I live.
okay,
So
cool.
another
Yeah,
day, it's October 22nd. We're sitting high and mighty over at New Oaks with a lot of stuff going on. So we want to kind of keep up with the news first, obviously. The reason we come out here, Ray and I, at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays every week is to give you guys an update on the AI trends that are going on in the world today, along with the updates of the feature sets that take place over at New Oaks, which is not just a chatbot anymore. It's the way it looks. Started out as a chatbot, but it's working its way to be a full-on AI agent for those who are in business for themselves or even for larger companies. It's not your mama's or your grandma's chatbot anymore, is it, Ray? It's a
yeah, it's
comment
getting
we use
smart.
over here in the US. It's an idiom that we use here a lot when we tell people things that are newer than they used to be, like a newer version of something. It's not your grandma's chatbot anymore. So
Right.
kind of a way to
Yeah,
fill
right.
it in.
Yeah,
So
not
tell us what's going
unfortunately.
on in the news today, Ray. A lot going on with guys like Greg Brockman and Mira Murati. What is the news
Yeah.
over with Greg
Well,
Brockman and
there
OpenAI?
really no like technical updates in terms of the whole industry, but there's some like talents
Gossip
updates, team updates, gossip. So we're talking about gossip today.
a
Today,
little bit, maybe
okay?
just a little.
So yeah, little. So Greg Brockman was one of the three original founders of OpenAI, who was CTO, and later on he became I believe he was chairman of OpenAI, and
Mhm.
he stepped down about half a year, I mean 6 months ago.
Yeah, it was a while
Remember
ago,
when
wasn't it?
yeah, a while ago. And everybody thought he would leave OpenAI, start his own thing. Um, but rumor says Greg is coming back, to OpenAI again, and sort of to help Sam Altman to, streamline the process and help with the team, because we know there's a turmoil about the OpenAI's leadership team, right? The CTO Mira Murati just left. Rumor said she is raising, a big venture fund to start her own venture on AI, and Greg may come back just to give some support to Sam. I don't know, it's just rumors everywhere, but Greg is a good guy. He was Stripe CTO, and
Mhm.
but he was not from AI background. He's an engineer, but he learned about AI from scratch. So some insider said Greg was a CTO, but he does not have a specific project to work on. So he was everywhere, right? And someone said he liked to influence or interact with people from other different teams, and I mean
Mhm.
sometimes to become a little bit demanding.
Mhm.
So there's some backfire from the teams that he was interacting with. So that's why he was taking a leave. But now,
Mhm.
I think the team still needs him. So he's coming back. So that's all gossip, right? No facts, but just for
It's
fun.
just I find it funny, Ray, how these guys just keep bouncing back and forth amongst the
Yeah,
same company. I mean, I was
yeah.
an engineer who used to bounce back and forth between engineering firms because that's the way we roll. It's like if somebody
Right.
needed you for a big project, they'd come and make you an offer and bring you on board. And it's kind of
Yep.
the same way, I think, in the AI industry right now, where people are just so valuable with their talent and with what they're capable of bringing to the table. Everybody wants their hands on them. So they're making offers behind the scenes that we don't see, obviously, that are, hey, I'll offer you this for that, and I'll offer you this. So there's a lot of handshaking and deals being made on the back end, obviously, when it comes to AI, but we never know what's going to be next. It's hard to
Yeah.
say.
exactly.
So what do you
Yeah.
think though? I mean, do you think Mira's leaving because she can't work with these guys, or do you think it's more of like they are all realizing their opportunities now that they have
Well,
built something together, and now
yeah.
that it's that simple to reproduce, they can just go off and do it again for themselves? I don't see like a bunch of animosity taking place. Sure, they get ticked off at each other now and then, but do
Right.
you really think these guys are in true competition with each other, or do you think maybe they're just expanding their own horizons a little bit?
Well, I don't have a lot of facts, but from what
Yeah,
I
I get it.
learned or what I know that so the story is that E.S. Suscaber, who was the chief research scientist, right? The
Mhm.
one who actually believe in scaling law and eventually make ChatGPT happened.
Mhm.
So Ia left, right? And then originally Greg and Sam Altman want to get Ia back, and then the dynamics of the board of the investors, they have fight and they want to get Sam out. I think
Sure.
during that period, chaotic period, so Mira was the key person. She's
Mhm.
kind of the mediator or the glue of the team, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Just kind of have everybody can work together,
Mhm.
to smooth the team a little bit. And then I think after like 1 year of the turmoil, I think it's time for her to move on because,
Yeah.
you know, OpenAI raised a lot of money, but in the meantime, a lot of competitors want to give money to OpenAI's leaders, right? Just
Mhm.
give or investors, just convince them to go out, get out of the OpenAI's team and to establish their own business. I think, for example, after Yi left OpenAI, he built his own AI company.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
got 10,
What
10
do you gain?
million, $1 billion
Yeah, 1 billion. I think.
valuation.
Yeah, it's a lot
One
of money.
billion, yeah, valuation as a seed funding stage company, right? It's
Yeah.
crazy. I cannot raise $1 billion
Yeah, right. It
for
should be more like a
valuation.
100,000, and we're
Yeah,
looking at $1 billion.
right,
It's crazy.
right.
It
So
is.
the seed funding I received when I started my first company was $1 million. It
Yeah.
was already pretty good, right? But now it's like $100 million seed funding for a valuation of 1 billion. Man,
Good luck.
it's crazy. So a lot of
I would.
employees get offer with a much better offer than what OpenAI can offer,
Sure.
and be asked to leave OpenAI and join other competitors. So everybody is trying to like hire someone from OpenAI
I think
because
so.
there's not a saying I recently heard, right? So if you are in the AI startup in Silicon Valley and
Mhm.
if you want to raise venture money, it's not the founder who matters. It's the employees from the big name like OpenAI or Anthropic that matters. So
Who do you have on your team?
who do you have on your team matters more than the founder.
That
So,
makes
so
sense.
that's
It
why
does.
the guys. the software engineer from OpenAI or from like NVIDIA or from Anthropic become hot shots in the Silicon Valley, right? If
Yeah.
you spend, so you can do a math. You pay the guy 500,000, right, a year to be in your team, but if you can raise like 50 million, right, the ROI is pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's
Why not?
it's another way
I'll
to
pay you
do
whatever
the
you
math.
want. Yeah, we've done
Right.
that in other, other niches as well. It's really just a matter of that offer that can't be refused. It's like you go to somebody and say, I'll
Yeah.
get you as many clients as you can take. Okay, this is one of
Yeah.
the things we like to tell people. It's like, we'll give you as
Right.
many clients as you can take, but
Yeah.
I'll get 50%. Okay. And
Right.
people freak on that. They're like, but wait a minute, what if you do really well and
Uh-huh.
then I lose half of all the business that I could have made? Well, yeah,
Yeah.
then okay, then just pay me my rate. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like
Right.
it's either one or the other. You have to decide at one point, what is that person worth to you? And are you paying them their value, or are you
Mhm.
just throwing your money away? Because a lot of times people are just throwing their money away, especially when it
Most
comes
of the
to
time.
marketing.
Yeah.
So, and we hate
I
to see
think
that.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get on to New Oaks, Ray. We want to get the
Right.
ball rolling here. We've said enough about what's going on in the world of
Uh-huh.
AI because our mission statement here is obviously to help people in business apply AI to their business and their life, even if they have to. And in order to do that, we do that by streamlining the operations and improving customer engagement using AI. So what's the latest, Ray? I see the AI business card has a nice enhancement that we've been talking about for a while. What's that all
Yeah, so recently we are focusing on AI business cards. It literally is it is a AI Copilot business card. It's just like the AI version of Linktree, and a lot. So we built the first AI business card and published. So a lot of my customer like it, but they don't like these colors and settings because everyone got the same business card.
about?
Then yeah, some customer proposed that why did you make it customized, fully customized with a CSS feature? Then we spend a week to build a CSS feature so that for the technical builders, so that they can change the layout of the business card and also the color and the background of the business card to make it more personalized and customizable, right?
Very nice.
And funny thing is that I post that on Twitter, and then there's one guy say, "Hey, do you know a fun fact that if you personalize your product, the number of engagements will increase by 300%."
Wow.
So yeah, so
That's a
that's
number
the
I've
fun
never
fact.
heard before.
Yep, yeah,
That's interesting.
and
And it's good to
yeah,
see because customization is always king.
exactly. And also one more thing is that so we publish the CSS feature, and
Mhm.
also we publish another feature that you can choose the color of the theme and also the background, right?
Oh, nice.
And eventually you're gonna be able to customize everything. And also in the meantime, I'm working with another UI designer to design a pool of templates for the
Mhm.
AI business card, just you can choose from, right? You do not need to customize or personalize it by yourself.
Gotcha.
So that's something is coming next.
Yeah, that would
And
be nice.
yep, and also as we mentioned last time, that I'm also working on voice AI feature with the real-time API that
Hmm.
ChatGPT recently released. So after it's going to be released officially within 2 weeks, I
Yeah.
think, hopefully before the end of October, and
Mhm.
then we're going to put the voice feature on AI business card.
I
So the
can't wait.
number you showed
Mhm.
on the AI business card, if someone called, it's going to be picked up by your AI assistant.
Gotcha.
Yeah, to
That's
book
perfect.
appointments and answer
So
questions.
will we
Yep.
be able to forward the number to anywhere after that? Would that be a handoff also within that call if we're talking to the AI and something happens that the AI can't answer that call or take that message, that it can just push it to the forwarding and get it to the handoff?
Right. So the way it works is that to set it up is that if you have your own number, right?
Mhm.
You use regularly for customers, and then you use a call forwarding feature to set up when someone call your number, it will be forward to a Twilio number, which the AI chatbot is going to be deployed. And
Mhm.
then after the AI chatbot take over the phone calls and answer the inquiries, it can book appointments or guide guide customers to a follow-up process accordingly.
Awesome. That's going to help a lot when it comes to anything that relates to missed call text back because people
Yep.
miss calls all the time. And the beauty about
Yep.
AI is that it can answer all the calls at one time. So
Right.
it's not
Yep.
like
Yeah.
you have to have an answering machine that's only capable of picking up, one or two calls. Then they got email or voicemail that allowed us to take more than one call at a time. Now we can
Yep.
literally answer more than one call at a time and interact with more than one call at a time, which is something we couldn't do before.
Exactly.
Big
Exactly.
bonus.
So there's a statistics says that in the US there are about 30 million small and medium businesses, right? So
Mhm.
out of the 30 million business, only 38% of business owners is able to pick up the call
Yeah.
when prospective customers call them. And
Wow.
60, it means 60% of them are still in, working with their existing customers or
Mhm.
working, to working on their operational process so that they don't have time to pick up the call.
Mhm.
That's the feature that how the feature can help either the voice or missed call test back. It's gonna recover the lost customers or leads.
Mhm. That's awesome. I can't wait to see it in action, right? I've played with a
Yeah.
lot of different voice bots and interacted with voice bots, and we're building some on both ends. We've got them going in a lot of places just to see how they operate. And in the case of New Oaks, I think with the way you've incorporated e-com and real estate, it's going to be huge for the real estate people in certain
Yeah.
terms, because now you've got people who are driving by houses, they see a phone number on the
Yeah.
card out in the front yard, and they call. If you're out showing another house, no worry. It's not just a hello, sorry, missed your call. I'll leave a message.
Right.
It's hi, how you doing? This is so and so's assistant. I'd like to help you today because he's unavailable at this time or whatever. And it takes over and does the job for him. So
Yeah.
kudos. I
And
love it, Ray.
yep.
Keep going.
And
Well,
I want to share another fun facts that one
yeah.
of my customers, and real estate agent in urban California. So she actually set up the number he put out on Zillow or on Open House
Mm-hmm.
in a way that whenever someone calls, it goes directly to the voicemail because she does not want to receive calls every day because I mean she's tied up with a lot of
An
things,
interruption.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interruption, right? Before the call was screened or validated, she does not want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
But with the help of voice AI, I think that's a lot of this pressure will be alleviated,
Yeah.
and a lot of inquiries will be screened into leads. So
Mm-hmm.
that will create a lot much value, I think.
Now, Ray, with the GHL incorporation or integration feature, we might say, because we're going to be bringing the ability for people to pull leads right into their GHL. If you're not familiar with GHL, it's a go high level account, as known to most people who own agencies out there that run on that platform. Um, Tell me a little bit about your updating the features in that aspect of a New Oaks, I should say. So for the inbound webhook and streamlining the data flow and such, what is it that people at GHL are they going to have full capabilities like the voice and everything included in that integration as well?
Not yet, but currently what we have released is that if they use AI as a chatbot, right, to
Mm-hmm.
interact and talk to customers on the front end, and after the customers leave a lead or contact info, right, the
Mm-hmm.
lead information will be set through inbound webhook to go high
Okay,
level,
gotcha.
and then be saved as a pipeline opportunities
Mm-hmm.
within go high level in their CRMs, right? That's the first step. And the second step is that we're also going to integrate the text message SMS feature,
Mm-hmm.
and then allow the go high level business owners use their CRM to send out marketing campaigns through SMS, and then save all the conversations or leads or appointments on
Yeah.
SMS, and then save it on go high level. And what you were asking for is the voice AI is going to be the third step that we're going to integrate with voice AI with go high level, so that when you make either outbound cold calls, you can use voice AI to do that. And then all the conversation data will be saved on go high level as a measure, as a way to follow up later.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So there will be
So
the return webhook where it would be able to hold a conversation from the GHL end as well at some point, is what I suspect.
yes,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
That works. That's all we're looking for, Ray, at some point, I'm sure.
yeah,
So
yeah.
again, adding on to the whole GHL experience, we're looking at the voice AI for inbound, outbound phone calls, and missed
Mhm.
call text back feature to introduce the call forwarding using Twilio, which is really the way that it's applied. It's and with the upgrades, if you haven't checked your account recently with the updates to Google, be sure you disconnect and reconnect if necessary your Google Calendar and your
Mhm.
phone numbers if you're using Google Voice so that you can get those connections updated.
Yep.
So big days coming up next month, Ray. Black Friday, of course, after the
Yeah.
holiday of Halloween, we call here, maybe a Halloween holiday. I don't know if you call it a
Yep.
holiday, but a lot
Right.
of people getting dressed up in crazy costumes for the season. So Black Friday is a big sale day. Everybody's buying
Yep.
stuff. What are we going to be pushing on that day, Ray?
So Black Friday is gonna be the day that we're gonna launch Neo's product hunt again with the latest feature, including voice AI, missed call testback, and URL to video, right? We have been talking about that for many days. So I think we pretty much will be ready before Black Friday, and then we're gonna launch it on Product Hunt, and then also on SaaSzilla, and just to give folks a opportunity just to test out the latest features that we have, and then after that I think we are going to use all the fun features. I want to use AI-based card as an all-in-one interface to host all of the latest features,
Mm-hmm.
so that as we talked about last time, that make it a real AI digital avatar, right? To with all the latest technology in to interact with potential customers or business owners. So that's the whole point for this year.
I've only seen a couple iterations of these avatars. One was very cartoonish. It's
Uh-huh.
available on other platforms, obviously, but it was so archaic. It was just very choppy. It didn't seem, it was so surreal. It didn't seem real. It was like you were just talking to a cartoon character, and it didn't
Yep.
seem like the voice was even up to speed.
Mhm.
Now, of course, will you be incorporating the GPT voice? What voice will you actually be using for that? It is GPT's
Right.
voice, not a synthesis. I can't even say the word. Not a synthesized
Synthesis. Yeah.
voice from
Synthesis.
11 Labs or anything like
Yeah.
that. This
Yeah.
is its own voice now. It's coming
Yeah.
out.
We're going to use the ChatGPT real-time API. It's
Mhm.
not 11 labs. I mean, the beauty of ChatGPT real-time API is that it is end-to-end simulation, which means that it copies directly from your voice, right? But with other technology like 11 Labs, you have to turn the voice into text first, and then answer the question with the text, and then turn the text to voice again. So it's like voice to text to text, and text to voice. I mean, the latency is going to be big. I mean, so that's
Yeah.
why user experience is not going to be well. But with the end-to-end technology that ChatGPT provided, it's going to be a voice with emotions
Mm-hmm.
within during the
Inflections and
conversation.
everything. Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
wait to hear that.
and the latency rate is going to be under like 500 milliseconds,
Really?
which is
That's fast.
yeah.
Wow.
So that's fast, and
Half a second
that's
for all those that don't know what 500
right,
milliseconds is. That's
right.
literally half a second.
Yeah, exactly. So
So,
when it comes to here, I want to ask you a question, Leland.
sure.
I think you already use some voice AI
Mm-hmm.
features, right?
We
I
do.
believe. So what I mean, which features that you're not happy with the current ones, or which functions you prefer to improve on for the current ones, so that
I
it could be
I get
more
it. I think
better.
for voice, one of the things I've encountered the most is not just in the response time. Response time's usually pretty good. There's always,
Yeah.
with the way we're doing it currently, a slight delay, but it's really
Yeah.
not off from what you would sometimes get from someone who's got to think about the answer to the question.
Yeah.
But in this case, what we do run into is when someone might interrupt the AI while it's talking, it
Uh-huh.
stops in the middle of a sentence and just like
Uh-huh.
breaks and then waits for more input and then
Wow.
responds on whatever input it did receive. So it's like it might only receive a fractional input before it can respond, and then
Yep.
it hangs up a little bit. So I would like to see the bot maybe reaffirm with the
Mhm.
caller who's on the other end of the line. Excuse me, were you trying to say something? You know
Okay.
what I
Yep.
mean? Actually
Yeah, yes.
pause and request for the clarification of, were you trying to interrupt me, or did you just accidentally cough or something
Right.
like that? So it doesn't interrupt the flow of the conversation from the AI. I think that has
Yes.
been the biggest staggering point for us, because
Right.
somebody just says something to their wife across the room and the AI stops talking, and it
Right.
starts to include that conversation into the context of who they're talking
Wow.
with, and that's not good. So we don't want that to
Right.
take place. Those side
Yep.
conversations should be totally ignored, or there should be a
Okay.
filter that allows more seclusion of the one user's voice and
Yep.
doesn't allow for, I mean, like we do here on Zoom for these broadcasts, we reduce the background noise.
Right.
And I think in some of these models, they're not doing that enough to make sure that the
Mhm.
bot doesn't get interrupted. So,
Right. I agree. So it's actually a very good question that you raised, or so that I can take into consideration, because I mean, the beauty of ChatGPT real-time API is that it actually use streaming technology, right? So it does take fractional input and then can answer you immediately, right? You do not need to say a long sentence, then the GPT is gonna translate the whole sentence out and then come back to you.
mm-hmm.
So the way it works is just like you and me are talking, right? I'm streaming my word one by one, and your brain is processing my
As it
conversation.
comes in.
The
Yeah, as
moment
it comes in.
the moment I spit out a fractional input, right, to you, and you already process it.
Yeah, I'm
So
already trying to
it's the
figure out
same
what you're going
way.
to say in my head for sure.
Yeah, so same way that GPT real-time API works.
Gotcha.
So hopefully it can solve the problem you mentioned. And about the background noise, actually, there's not another fun fact I want to share with you is that
Sure.
I have another friend who is an expert with the voice AI
Mm-hmm.
call.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned that actually a lot of times they want to make the conversations more real,
Mm-hmm.
that they add more noise in the
And
background of the conversation.
behind the AI, I've heard
Behind the
that.
scene.
We do that as well. We have the background chatter, like there's an office
Yes.
setting
Or
going on
keyboard
behind.
typing.
Yeah,
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 keyboard
that's a
typing
little
and stuff.
different. I was more about the worry that if you're in a noisy room and you're trying to
Yes.
hold a conversation with the AI and somebody yells out, that's going to
Right.
interrupt the entire conversation. Which it does
Ah,
in real time with real people anyway. It's not
yeah,
like
it
we
does.
don't get
It does.
interrupted all the time like that. So we just have to
Yep.
accommodate. I
Yep.
think that's cool, right? I can't wait.
Yep.
Because I think the fun part about the voice aspect of AI is that we have just touched the surface here. We have
Yep.
really no clue what we could apply the voice AI to. Now, I've already come up with a lot of ideas. I have a spirit calling bot where you can call and ask spiritual questions.
Wow.
I've got a bot that'll call you and wake you up in the morning to motivate you.
Wow.
It's
Yep.
like, hey, how you doing? Good morning. What's got a big plan
Motivational
for
call.
today? The phone
Yeah.
rings and you got an AI waking you up in the morning
Yes.
rather than an alarm clock. You got some guy
Right.
or lady's voice saying, hey, time to go.
Yeah.
Let's get up. Let's do
Yeah.
our thing. That's a whole
It's
nother application for AI that not many people
yeah.
think about. So
It's a really cool use case actually.
yeah,
I think
just throw it
wake
out
up
there.
call.
And
Yeah.
we're sharing everything we possibly can, Ray, at this point, because I don't consider any competition out there right now. I know you do because you're founder of an AI startup.
Yeah.
I am as well. But when I
Yeah.
look at the startups out there, it's one of
Yeah.
those things that I don't aggravate myself over competition right now, because the
No.
market is so huge. There's no
Yes.
restraints on anybody. You should be able to go out and find anybody out on the street and say, hey, do you need some AI? And they're like, yeah, I heard about it. I don't know what to do with it, but sure, tell me about it. It's that easy right now. But please don't be the
Yes.
one out there scamming people like there are a lot of people out there scamming folks. So I don't
Right.
like to see that. And this is one place we don't do that. So Ray, what do you got to take us out of here so we can get everybody back over to New Oaks and playing with their AI bots?
Yeah,
What's
I think
news? What's up and coming for this week, Ray? Just tell me about that.
you mean for the coming weeks or for the past week?
Yeah, yeah. Just give me some news. What's happening?
Yeah. Well, we have done a lot of updates recently, and for this coming week, well, I'm going to focus on three things as we mentioned that. First, our integration with Go High Level and continues to build the SMS feature and chat API, and also the lead API, right, to with Go High Level. So that's coming. And secondly, we're going to release the voice AI hopefully next week. If not next week, at most within 2 weeks. I think what you mentioned just now is that the latest voice AI is so different with the previous voice feature. It's going to open up another door. It's going to be a game changer, right? It's going to open a huge incremental market, not an existing market for all of the AI practitioners. So I'm really looking forward to that the introduction of the latest voice AI feature, which is what I'm working on. And third thing is the URL to video. I think we have been talking about it for long. And tomorrow, we're going to have an internal testing of the URL to video for real estate use case, right? To enter one Zillow URL and turn that URL into a promotion video of your property. Okay.
Now, is that using? Oh, go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, with URL to video, you're referring to the software URL to video, which is an endpoint app that allows you to generate these videos. Is that when you say that, or are you just using the term in general sense?
I'm using the term in general.
Okay,
it's a feature that we build. Yeah.
All right, good. So that's something you can create internally on your own end using code and be able to stack and build a timeline for a video production using code is basically the sense that I'm getting from that. Yes. And we do that as well, but we use automation systems that prepare all the context of that video and then send that code to a generator that just generates the video for us. And then we have to pull the video down from the service that we get it from. And there's a few services out there that do that. So it sounds like to me, you would be building your own internal URL to video service inside NewOaks, correct? That's awesome.
Yes.
I'd love to hear that.
That URL to video with I mean, the feature is, you can build the video with your own AI avatar. So it's not only the product video, but it has your own avatar talking about the product. So that's something that, is something new. And also moving forward, I probably will work on another cool feature is that you to allow you to upload one image of yourself, right? And you can create your AI avatar with one picture.
I love it.
So that's something that I'm working on, but I can't say when I'm going to release that, but it's going to take some time. But the goal, the purpose, the objective of that, development is that just like you and me were talking about last time, we want to build a real AI avatar, but we also want to reduce the cost to produce your own avatar and make the whole automation be iterated by our AI avatar.
Yeah,
eventually,
right there in the widget. I love it.
Yeah.
And because with us right now, we have to use several different systems to make that happen.
Yeah.
And to deliver it is not even included in that workflow.
Right.
We would have to create a separate workflow just to deliver the end product to somebody. And what you're doing is incorporating the entire process and making the deliverable right there available inside the system. Just huge.
Exactly.
Can't wait to see that. So let's touch base with the YouTubers out there for just a second. We do have Hilton Davidow in the crew, and I do appreciate Hilton's reoccurring appearance here on our podcast every week. He's here just about every week to talk with us. He says he's basically asking like the bot needs to ignore input output until it has completed a response. We would like that, but it's not necessary. As Ray mentioned, just having the ability for the bot to work on partial input is key, because you never know when somebody's going to be able to iterate what it is they really want. So the bot does at times have to come up with its own solutions based on what it hears. So the more, the better. On ChatGPT advanced voice mode, the ability to interrupt the bot is a good idea, but really not that practical. And when I say interrupt the bot, what I'm saying is a lot of people, for instance, Ray and I talk here all day long, and we do tend to interrupt each other. I do as a host, because I have to keep the show going. And if Ray's talking on to a subject that we need to fill up with other space, I need to jump in. And Ray's going to have a reaction to that. He's either going to stop talking, he's going to keep talking, or he's going to go, whoa, why you want me to stop, kind of thing. And that's the attitude that we're trying to avoid. We don't want the AI to freak out when we tell it to pause. We don't want it to lose its train of thought because it's having a conversation. So it needs to maintain that memory. And we also don't want it to go off the rail because of what somebody said that might be off topic. So now the conversation goes off the rails and you don't want that. So there is a need to have to address the interruptions of an AI because I think it has to know how to respond properly during those interruptions.
Yeah.
All right. And that's all we have from Hilton. Anything else, Ray, before we let you go? I think I will be getting with you on the back end about some new ways we might be able to find some users for the system. So we'll talk about that this week later.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm looking forward to this, Ray. We will get the word out. So come out, hang out with us at the New Oaks community over at NewOaks AI on Facebook. We come out here every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on YouTube, where you can come find out what's going on in the AI world, along with the greatest and latest updates over at NewOaks AI. Ray, thanks for coming. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Lidan.
All right. Anything else? Say hi to Shemaya for me. I'm going to be in touch with her very soon about the last bit of video. So, folks, if you want to stop by my next broadcast, I just want to say this, Ray, before I let you go. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to answer some questions for some people this week. So watch for a live to come into the community where I'm just going to sit down and hang out with you guys for a little bit and find out what's really bothering you about the system and if there's something I can do to help. So till next time, Ray, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care, Ray. Bye-bye.